Check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Hi, I'm Jackie, and I'm addicted to Survivor.
Hi, I'm Molly, and I'm addicted to Survivor.
And now the latest scourge on television, reality TV.
I think the title of this week's episode should have been Crying Episode, because it was just a bunch of crying.
It was Jake crying.
I told you Jake cried. I told you there was Jake crying in the preview.
Oh my God,
I think everybody cried this episode. Everybody, it felt like.
Well, no, Julie cries because she regrets lying to people on the jury.
Ugh, the Julie crying at the beginning bothered me so much for some reason.
Why is she? You know, if I don't know.
Then Drew is crying.
Oh God, Drew crying is ugly.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel real.
It's Napoleon Dynamite crying.
That's funny though. Drew crying is just like, get off my screen.
No, he's got one of those cries where he's rubbing his eyes so hard you're afraid he's doing damage. Right?
Yes. That's exactly it.
So at the very beginning, we've got Bruce practicing his acting skills.
On Katura of all people.
Katura. As if she didn't like him already.
Mm-hmm. I didn't understand that at all. Like, why he chose Katura to practice his acting skills on.
Okay, well, I did see the exit interview.
Mm-hmm.
According to him, from his perception, quote unquote, he had no idea that people felt that way about him.
He is not self-aware at all. He's a terrible player. He's not self-aware. I also read in his interview where he said he was going to do the soul searching and have the talk with his daughter, that he didn't actually have the talk with his daughter. He just made changes, and she's talking to him now more than ever. Oh, and I want to be like, well, yeah, duh, Bruce, she's talking to you now more than ever because you're currently on television, not because you're doing the work to be a better father to her. It's because you're on television every week.
Well, not just that, but, you know, if you're going to be passive aggressive with your own family member, you got to check yourself at some point.
Yeah, 100%. Like he's one of the worst players I think I've seen. Like, he's just not a good player. Period. All of his little tricks and traps and all of it is trash. It's trash.
Yeah, but he had a good attitude. You got to give him that much.
Ugh. He dragged the editors in his interview too. He was like, the editors did me wrong. They did Katura wrong, which I've been saying since the beginning because I think the editors have done her wrong.
Right.
But Bruce has had more story than just with Katura. He had the head bump and winning immunity, so I don't think he got done as wrong as she did.
No, he had the crying on the beach when he first got there.
Oh, God. He's been annoying since day dot.
He's trying to be Uncle Bruce.
Which he also admitted to in his interview.
Interview.
So we had a reward challenge this episode, which I was, of course, excited about. But then the actual reward was turkey, which was...
Oh, God.
They're going hard on, like, the roasted birds.
Well, that just shows that there's a little bit of a cutback on the reward budget.
Is there like a Costco nearby?
Well, first of all, you know, I get that they were trying to time it around Thanksgiving. I get that. Mm-hmm. But I don't like turkey. And a friend of mine brought this up this past week, and they said, you know, turkey is that thing that you only eat once a year to remind yourself why you don't eat turkey throughout the year.
Exactly. I agree. I think it was a very weird choice. Like, I would have gotten hype about the mashed potatoes, but also they included sangria with turkey. What was that about?
I don't know.
I can't imagine drinking well, wait, let me think about it for a second. I could see how it could work, but I want something less sweet.
I want something appealing as a reward, and turkey is not, turkey skin all day long.
Mm-hmm.
But turkey, when you've already been dehydrated and wallowing in sand, I don't want a dry bird as a reward. And there wasn't stuffing, there wasn't cranberry, there wasn't pumpkin pie,
They did have apple pie, but we didn't see any of the reward except for like the meal. We didn't see any of the sleeping. I don't know. I think I would have liked to see what their bed set situation looked like.
Well, it didn't look like a very pampering reward either.
No.
I mean, nobody got a shower.
I hate the sanctuary rewards. I think they're so lazy.
They're very lazy.
But I was watching with Mickey this afternoon, and he had an interesting theory that maybe they're setting up Sanctuary as a place for Jeff to host, like once he steps back a little bit from the main hosting duties.
Oh God. Can you imagine showing up and then having Jeff yell at you the whole time?
The way he
berated them on that reward challenge was asinine.
Yeah, I was not a fan of Jeff's this episode. Did you know that he's 62?
Yeah.
I thought he was younger than Jonathan for some reason.
No. And they're sitting there trying to do the puzzle thing and he's screaming at them. I would have thrown the handheld things and said, "You do it."
Yeah.
Then.
And literally none of the rest of the challenge mattered except for the puzzle. Like they didn't have to do the rest of it. They just needed to do the puzzle.
Right.
I didn't like that challenge at all.
Right. And then okay, so Emily wins, which is great,
which was sweet.
Which was great. But as soon as she wins it, her body is trembling. Jeff is commentating on her body trembling and she's shaking and she's, I would have turned around and said, "If you would shut up, Jeff, I wouldn't be trembling like this, you asshole."
Yeah, he seemed weirdly invasive personally this episode. Like it felt like he was seeking out to make the contestants uncomfortable a little bit. I didn't like the way he handled Katura in the immunity challenge that much either.
No. Oh no, not at all. But so Emily wins.
Yes.
And he says, "Choose one person to join you." So she picks Julie.
Mm-hmm. Who of course cries.
Okay, choose another person to join you. So she picks Katura.
Mm-hmm. Who seemed genuinely touched and surprised.
Oh, extremely. And then he says, "You have one more spot." Stop it.
Yeah, just stay up front. Like the things they decide to stretch out are so strange. I loved the time that we got to see with the boys on the beach.
Oh, that was amazing. That was amazing. But how many of those clips were from like days before?
Yeah, I wondered that too. But I don't know. It was still sweet. It was still a fun moment.
They needed to play volleyball with a coconut.
They did. The music choice, like the editor that came up with that little section, A+, hand claps to you. I loved all of it.
It was great because it started off with burping and farting, and you're like, "Oh God, this is gonna stink." But then once they got into the playful part of it, I was like, "Okay, that's cute."
Yeah. And one thing at the girls' Thanksgiving dinner feast that was trash, everyone really seems to like Emily.
I know, and they were genuine about it too.
Yeah, like not just game Emily. They seem to like genuinely like Emily.
She's done a 180, that's for sure.
Like she really took what Caleb said to heart, like to the point where I waffled picking my winner for this episode because the edit was so strong for both of my normal contenders.
Right. I agree.
Because
they didn't have to say any of that.
Well, because also the same argument that I'm making for Caleb hyping up Jake at the jury in the final tribal council, he could be doing the same thing for Emily.
I agree.
Because he could be like, oh, she was trash when she came to camp. And then I had a little talk with her and she learned from her mistakes and she's been honest with every single boot, every episode. She tells them exactly what's going to happen.
Oh, no, that's the most impressive part, is because if somebody wants her to be deceptive or lie, she's like, I'm sorry, I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she herself will take information and go tiptoe to somebody else and say, hey, let me let you know what's really going on.
Yep.
So either it's a great edit or she's a sneaky little thing.
Yeah, she's a very good player. She's fun to watch.
So once word gets around that Bruce gave his idol to Kelly, did you hear what Drew said?
I don't remember what did he say?
I think it might have been Jake that told him, oh, Bruce doesn't have an idol anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Drew's quote is, you're shut the front door kidding.
Yes, I do remember that.
What? That doesn't even flow.
No, he's trying to make fetch happen and he just can't.
Exactly.
He can't. I also love the little clippy section of Austin loving nature and fishing.
Yeah, but I didn't like them stabbing those pretty fish.
No, they were beautiful fish. And I would feel weird eating a fish that looked like that.
I didn't even think they were edible.
I do wonder, like, do they have like a little laminated guide of what they can and can't eat?
You would hope so.
Yeah. Who knows?
So the letters from home.
Mm-hmm.
Julie says, if food is the fuel, the letters are the fire.
Yes.
Where are they coming up with this stuff?
I don't know. It wasn't good.
No.
And we really didn't get to see or hear a lot of the letters. And
yeah.
Very terrible for Katura.
Oh, that was awful. I don't know why. Who in the world thought it would be logical to put her into a panic attack?
Yeah.
With something so out of the blue like that, because that had to have come up in casting.
Well, she did have a little throwaway line in her confessional where she said something like, I didn't necessarily hide it from producers, but I wasn't upfront about it either. So she wasn't, I don't think they might not have known to the extent or whatever, but so I can't really put production all the way at fault because of that. I'm sure that the editors probably scoured footage to find something that they could put there to make them less culpable in that situation.
Ugh.
But yeah, I wrote down, like, I wonder if her game is going to recover from this.
Oh, I agree. She's pretty shaken up about the whole thing. And I think that was a terrible, terrible move by production to throw that on her. You're wanting, emotional affirmations from your letters, not emotional burdens.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I'm sure, as supportive as a letter might have sounded to an outsider, I'm sure it was filled with stuff that just like slapped Couture in the face over and over again.
Exactly. Then we get the will or won't Emily get married? What the really?
I do understand her stress of someone else moving house, though.
Yeah, but you know what? If you trust somebody that's moving you and them into a new house while you are not even there, you're already married. You just don't have the piece of paper.
100%. 100%.
Don't fool yourself into thinking that you're not married.
No. You're just not government married. Oh, I guess that's called common law. Is that still a thing?
I don't know.
I remember when I had like a churchy boyfriend one time, like when we first moved to Florida. All of the girls of the church would try to live with their boyfriends for a certain amount of time so that they could be common law married, and then they couldn't get out of the relationship. Like that whole culture was so strange.
That's awful.
Yeah. So weird. That's the 90s for you.
So Drew calls Jake a mobster.
Yes.
And I don't know if Drew just thinks because everybody has said Jake is a flake, Jake is erratic, nobody trusts Jake, nobody likes Jake, Jake's on the outside. And then all of a sudden Drew's going to call him a mobster to his face?
Yeah. Drew's gameplay makes no sense to me.
No. And that was very rude of him to do, because then Jake basically has a meltdown.
Yeah, he did. But I think one of the things I like about Jake, and I didn't realize it until this episode, is one of the things that I also like about Gerald from Australian Survivor, in that his emotions are right up there on the surface, good or bad. He's going to show them to you, and he's not afraid of them. And I really kind of appreciate that.
I appreciate it, but it's probably why people feel the way about him that they do, is because he doesn't keep that stuff in check.
Yep, because people are uncomfortable with their own emotions. I 100% understand that too.
Right. So we get to the immunity challenge, which actually I loved this one.
I did too. I thought it was a really good endurance twist. I liked it a lot, and it looks so uncomfortable.
It looks very uncomfortable, but was Katura so afraid of the water because she was having a panic attack?
Yes. I think 100% her reaction was because of the letter from her mom. No doubt in my mind.
Because by the time she did get in the water, she was swimming like a champ.
Mm-hmm. And if I remember correctly, this hasn't been the first water challenge.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I didn't think so, but I'm not 100% sure because I have a terrible memory.
But I mean, she didn't even want to dip a toe in that water.
No, she was terrified. And I think 100% she was still emotionally activated from her mom's letter.
That's wrong.
It's gonna fuck up her game. I'm concerned for her. But it could also go the other way and like fuel her fire.
Yeah, you can't tell at this point.
No.
So as they're moving, okay, first of all, did you notice it was all 4 women out first?
Yes.
I blame the turkey.
Yeah.
I completely blame the turkey for that.
Okay.
And then they move down a peg.
Mm-hmm.
So Jake gets to show his belly off because his shirt's riding up.
Yeah.
But then the next peg they move down, they make them straighten their legs out. Why?
I guess Jeff wanted to go eat dinner. I don't know. I loved it though. I liked seeing there weren't very many different strategies because I guess it's a new thing and nobody had a chance to like think about, oh, if I got into this challenge, how am I going to do it? And that's cool to see. They need to come up with more original ideas.
Yeah, I agree. And it was more endurance than just hold your arm above your head.
Mm-hmm. It was full body endurance.
But you could tell because Jake doesn't look like he has a whole lot of upper body strength.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And here you've got the last 2 who were up there, which was what? Austin and Bruce.
Yeah.
And
I was terrified Bruce was going to win again.
He was almost there. Austin was slipping.
Mm-hmm.
But the entire afternoon, Bruce kept saying, I'm going to play my idol. I'm going to play my idol. I'm not an idiot. I'm going to play it. Regardless of what happens, I'm going to play my idol. And it was just, okay, already we get it. You're going to play your idol. Shut up.
I noted editing's inclusion of that, and I was like, he is 100% not playing his idol at Tribal Council. Because they wouldn't have gone so hard on including that so many times. It was really blatant to me at that point that he wasn't playing his idol. I knew he was going home then.
Well, yeah, but that's a testament, again, to Emily.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's the one that said, oh, baby, you're fine. This is the game plan. Doesn't include you. Don't worry about it. Blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
And she even had a plan B.
Yeah. She's really a great player.
So Katura had the other good quote that I wrote down.
Okay.
She was talking to Mama J.
Yes.
And she says, "This is just a sick, twisted, disgusting, ridiculous, delicious, enjoyable, terrifying game."
Yes, that was a beautiful sentence.
I was like, how did you string that together? You must have, come on, girl.
I loved it so much.
That was awesome. So I think sometimes that Jake is considering Survivor his personal therapy.
It does seem like he is doing a fuck ton of growth.
Right, but he's crying on the beach and he's doing a confessional that says, "I don't take this personally." What?
Maybe he doesn't realize what taking things personally means.
I don't know, but he looks like he lost his last best friend and his dog died and his trailer burned down and he's going to go write a country song. It's like, dude.
But it would be like Irish punk because he's from Boston.
He's taking everything personally.
But you know who's eating it up?
Who?
The jury.
Yeah, because once they got to Tribal and that's where I noted that Jake was considering it his therapy, because when Jeff asks Jake a question, so long as he doesn't freeze, he's talking as though he's talking to a psychiatrist.
Yeah, he is just unloading. He's a weird, I wrote down, I don't remember, I wish I would have written down what word made me write this down, but I wrote down Jake's vocabulary is so interesting. Like he picks some weird words to say.
I don't know. And then back to when he was crying on the beach and Bruce had to console him and say, "You're smart, you passed the bar."
Ugh, Bruce, like that didn't even feel genuine to me. Bruce just feels like he is saying what he thinks people wants to say, but with no regard to his actual feelings or anybody else's actual feelings. And I hate it.
Yeah, but if you're going to give somebody a pep talk, don't stand above them and pat them on the shoulder like your uncle.
Yeah.
You need to get down in the sand and give him a hug, for God's sake.
Yeah, it felt kind of condescending.
Exactly. So I liked how once the votes started coming in, and the ladies on the jury were having a panic attack, and what Caleb's over there going, just watch, because he knew
the jury reaction. The jury reactions are everything.
I know.
I can't. They're just so exciting.
Caleb is so smart.
He is. They're definitely going to bring him back to play. Oh, and if they ever do like another like Blood versus Water or one of the seasons like that, I think they would probably bring Emily and her husband, boyfriend, house guy, because he looked very Survivor-y.
Yeah, but who's going to watch the house?
No, the dog. I don't know. One of the stuffies. The ghost.
So once they get down to reading Bruce's name, and the ladies on the jury are fist pumping in the air.
Go ahead.
No, I don't understand. What's the animosity that they felt towards him that they wanted to cheer that hard that he was voted out?
Well, just the snippets of the way that he talks to people is enough. Like, can you imagine being talked to like that all the time?
And I like how Caleb is just sitting there.
Yeah.
He's not cheering one side or the other. He's keeping his cool.
Like, I'm sad that he's on the jury, but watching him on the jury is very fun because he is such a chill, but like observant jury player. He's so good on camera.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think Bruce didn't play his idol simply because Jeff went through and made everybody say that Bruce was going to play his idol. I think he didn't play his idol to be contrary.
I think during his exit interview, what he said was he was thinking too far ahead. And he thought he already had this and he was going to use it to get that much further. So again, yeah, it's, Emily convinced him that it wasn't necessary right now.
Emily is amazing. I'm so excited to see what happens.
Yeah.
All right, so who is your pick for winning right now?
You know what? If I were just going on the face of this episode, I would flip it to Emily. But I'm going to keep it at D.
Okay.
Because at that sanctuary visit, Dee's not stupid. So she's seeing everybody compliment Emily. She could still come back and get her.
Yeah.
Because Emily's an island unto her own, really, too.
Yeah, 100%. I also waffled and almost picked Emily this week because of the girl visit, and the thing that almost made me switch to there was one, how much everybody liked her, but two, there was a line where Dee said, "Oh, there's going to be a girl winner," and I don't think that they would have included that for a while. I didn't think they would have included that unless it was actually going to be a girl winner, but it could also be a red herring. And I still think that there's no other reason for showing all of this emotion from Jake and all of the love from the jury from Jake unless they're trying to convince the audience he's worthy of a win. And I think what's going to happen is Emily's going to go out at like the final four and everybody's going to be like super pissed because she played such a good game and they're left with whatever, remnants of whoever is left. And Jake is the best of what's left. I think the winner this year is going to be a disappointment to a point.
Well, to back up a little bit, I thought it was cute that they kept bringing up, who's your favorite person is your mama. So we got to get Mama J out.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, that sounds great, but Julie hasn't done anything.
No, she's just nice to people, kind of, but not really because she backstabs them all the time.
Right, but you're not just going to vote for somebody because of their nickname.
And I guess she has been in like the top 2 of immunity, whatever, twice, but whatever.
No, put her in something like endurance.
Yeah, she didn't do great this time.
Exactly.
And who are they setting up to be the 2 next week? Julie and who else?
Julie and Dee, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was Dee. I'd rather see Julie go because I like watching Dee play. And I think I did also note down that I wonder if the little romance with Austin is going to kind of fuck up both of their games.
They haven't really touched on that in a while.
But I feel like the preview was kind of hinting at some more romance chat. We shall see.
The preview is always misleading, though.
Yeah. But for the first time in a while, there was no Jake included in the preview, and that was weird.
Because he's a mobster. He's in hiding. He went to go cry in the bushes somewhere.
Yeah, he probably did. Poor little Jakey. All right. I think we did the thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I have been Jackie.
I have been Molly.
Stay tuned.